Hi students, I'm Dr. Bhavna. In this lecture, we are going to continue with interactions that are taking place among different organisms. So in the ecology, we already have started with how are the organisms interacting with each other and how this all is taking place. So basically, when we have started with interactions among organisms, we have talked about different topics like competition, commensalism, mutualism, parasitism, as well as predation. So there are numerous examples that are related. I want you all to remember different examples that are related to this because it is very important in NEET point of view. They'll ask you numerous examples. What are the examples? They'll give you some 2-3 questions based on this. So if you're thorough with the examples regarding this, it is easy for you. And the most important point that you should remember is you should not get confused between the two topics. Between two different topics, you should not get confused, like both examples. One example is one different. So you all have to understand the concept behind it. What is the different examples? What are the different things that are related to that of interactions? So basically, when the interactions are taking place among organisms, already we have dealt with competition. So in the competition, what are the examples which I gave? One, you should remember Gauss's competitive exclusion principle. He states that when two different species will fight for the same resource, then the inferior one will be eliminated. Means two people are fighting for one food. Who is stronger, they will get the food. Other person will not get the food. That is only Gauss's competitive exclusion principle. The next example which is given is resource partitioning. It was given by MacArthur. If the two people are fighting for the same food, then if they share the food, both will be benefited. Then competition only won't be there between two people. That is the best thing which you should be followed. So that is MacArthur, who is the scientist who gave about the resource partitioning. Then Connell, one famous scientist, he discussed about the different elegant field experiments. So what did he tell basically in that? He told that, see, one excludes other from that zone. Suppose Balanus, a famous organism which is present in different seas. So this Balanus, if it is introduced into another sea where Chathalmus organism is present more in numbers, so this Balanus will exclude the Chathalmus from that zone. And when Abingdon tortoise was introduced into an environment and it was eating continuously plants, it was eating Abingdon tortoise, then suddenly goats came into that environment. So these Abingdon tortoise, which are inferior ones, got eliminated from the environment because according to Gauss's competitive exclusion principle. So this is about the competition. This all I have dealt in the last class very clearly. This I'm just revising. So if anyone have not understood, just go to the last class and see the video. Competition you will understand clearly. Then we have dealt about commensalism. Commensalism means what? One organism is benefited, other organism no effect for that organism. Numerous examples were given, like barnacles on the whale, then orchid on mango. Next, cattle egret and grazing cattle. Then the fourth example which is given is clownfish on sea anemone. I am going slow so that you all should understand. See, in these all, one organism is benefited, other organism is not affected. So according to this, the barnacles on the whale, it is not affected only. Barnacles, they are benefited by staying on the whale. Same mango tree, if orchid is growing on the mango tree, no use for that. So orchid on the mango, cattle egret on the grazing cattle, clownfish on sea anemone. These are the 4 examples which are given under commensalism. So in this, one organism is benefited, other one is harmed. Important neat question, like they'll ask, clownfish on a sea anemone is an example of commensalism, mutualism, parasitism or predation. The answer is commensalism. 4 examples you should remember. In competition, both the species are harmed. So both negative. So Abingdon tortoise, goats, Belanus and Chathalmus you should remember. Here barnacles on whale, orchid on mango tree, cattle egret on grazing cattle, clownfish on sea anemone. You all should remember, these all are benefited, these all having no effect. Cattle egret also on grazing cattle also. The cattle used to graze that. So cattle egret on grazing cattle. Clownfish on sea anemone. These are the different examples which were given under interactions. So this is about the commensalism. Next is parasitism. In parasitism, there are 2 types of parasites. Those are ectoparasites as well as endoparasites. Ectoparasites means what? Which live on the surface of the other host. See, parasitism only basically one organism is benefited, other organism is harmed compulsory. Which is the one which is harmed is host. Which is the one which is benefited is parasite. Only for parasitism in interactions, one is benefited, other one is harmed. We are giving names to it, like a parasite, host. Like that we are giving names only in parasitism. For other, suppose if commensalism, we did not give any names. One organism is benefited, one organism is not affected, we have told. But here we are giving names to that. Which is benefited is parasite, which is affected is host. So parasites will suck the host and it will derive its nutrition, or it is able to live, because one organism is benefited, other one is not affected. So in these, parasites are basically classified into ectoparasites and endoparasites. Ecto means by name only you can understand. They live on the surface of the host. Endoparasites means which live inside the body of the host. So ecto, suppose lice on human beings. Females will have lice on their hair. So lice on humans as well as ticks on dogs are ectoparasites. Endoparasites means what? Which live inside the body. Like in the liver, some parasites will live, like mosquito. Some will live in kidney. Some will live in the stomach. So these all are endoparasites which are living inside the body of the host. Ecto means what? Outside they are living. Ticks on dogs, these are also ectoparasites. The most common parasites are human liver fluke as well as mosquito. Human liver fluke, it will have not one host. It will not suck the blood of only one host. It will suck the blood of 2 hosts. That is nothing but snail as well as fish. These both are host. These are having the parasite which is called as human liver fluke. Mosquito also same. Mosquito is also having 2 hosts. That is man as well as, see, mosquito means malarial parasite. I am saying here, malarial parasite will have 2 hosts, that is mosquito as well as man. So parasite, malarial parasite. You all will think that malaria is causing mosquito. No, malaria is caused by a protozoan parasite, which is called as Plasmodium. But mosquito will act as a vector. For you to understand clearly, I specified that mosquito is only a which is causing the malaria. But mosquito will transfer the parasites from one place to another, like from humans infected to the mosquito, from the mosquito to the different human beings. This all is a chain which is followed. So basically, the malarial parasite called as Plasmodium will have two hosts, that is called as man as well as mosquito. So this is about the parasitism. Under parasitism, there is an interesting concept that is called as brood parasitism. Brood. So what is brood parasitism? Under brood parasitism, see the parasitic bird, it will lay eggs in the host. This parasitic bird will lay its eggs in the host. So what will happen during the time passes? This parasitic bird's eggs will resemble the host eggs. So if some change of eggs color is also changing, then this host will recognize it and it will eliminate from the environment. So this parasitic bird is it will lay eggs in its own host normally. So in the host eggs, and these also will develop. So this is called as brood parasitism. The host will think that it is its own egg, but what is exactly happening? That is not their own eggs. That eggs are transferred from other like parasitic birds' eggs also it is laying. So this is about the brood parasitism. Don't get confused. Brood parasitic bird will lay its eggs in the host nest. So this is the point about the parasitism. Next, another interaction which is taking place is mutualism. So under mutualism, here mutualism only you can understand. Both are benefited from each other. One is benefited from other is benefited from this organism. So mutualism. Competition, it is opposite. Both are fighting. Here both are happily helping each other and surviving. Commensalism, one is benefited, other one not affected. Predation and parasitism, one is benefited, other one is harmed, negative. But in mutualism, both are benefited. The most common examples, here they are living in symbiotic relationship with each other. So basically under mutualism, the common examples which are given are lichens as well as mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza are two famous plants called as lichens as well as mycorrhiza. Lichens, it will have two things, that is nothing but fungi as well as algae. Mycorrhiza also will have fungi and higher plants. Lichens will have fungi, algae. Mycorrhiza, fungi as well as roots of higher plants, roots. So what will happen in lichens? The fungi will get associated with that of algae. It will derive the nutrition from the algae and it will survive. Algae, it will derive the water from the fungi and it will survive. So both are benefited by food and water. One will have water, one will have food. Both are benefited by having food and water. Like that, mycorrhiza also same thing. Fungi, what it will do? It will help these higher plants, roots of the higher plants, to derive the nutrients from the soil. It will help the absorption of soil by this absorption of nutrients in the soil by the roots of higher plants. So fungi will have like that benefit. Now here roots of higher plants, what they will do? They will give the food to the fungi. Fungi will help in absorption of nutrients from the soil. These higher plants will give food to the fungi. So here both are benefited. This is called as, one is mycorrhiza, another one is lichens. Famous examples of mutualism. Lichens between the fungi and algae, mycorrhiza between the fungi and roots of higher plants. So the fungi will derive the nutrition from the roots of higher plants and mycorrhiza. The roots of higher plants will have benefit by the fungi. How they will have? By absorption of nutrients from the soil. This is the important point that you should remember. Then next, related to this mutualism only, you all have seen numerous plants. They should get pollinated, right? All the plants should get pollinated. So how they will get pollinated basically? So they will get pollinated from each other by animals which are coming and transferring the pollination and transferring the pollens from one place to another and helping the pollination to be done. They are doing so much. So what these plants will give to these animals? They will provide the fruits, they will provide the nectar, the sweet nectar they will provide, and all they will do only because they are helping in pollination. But some animals, they are dangerous animals. Like what they will do? They will simply try to manipulate the plants and steal the nectar without aiding in pollination. So some plants have developed a special mechanism, a distastefulness in their nectars and all, for those who are coming artificially and taking this. So there is no benefit. Mutualism means what? Both should be helping each other. If pollination is done for the plants only, they will give nectar to the animals so that they both will be benefited. This is the concept of mutualism. Another two famous examples are, one is lichens, mycorrhiza. Another two famous examples of mutualism, which is very important in NEET point of view, is nothing but the famous example which is given, and I am revising once again and once again because you all should understand clearly and you should not make a mistake, because numerous questions are asked based on this only. So another thing that you should remember about mutualism is nothing but the famous concept under mutualism is a fig tree, wasp. Next, orchid, bees. These two belong to one set, these two belong to one set. Fig tree, these are plants. Wasp, animal. Orchid, plant. Bees, animals. So fig tree, what it will do to the wasp? Mutualism means one should help each other. So fig tree, what it will do to the wasp? It will help these animals to lay eggs. Then what this wasp will do to the fig tree? It will help in pollination. That's all. Simple. This fig tree will help the wasp to lay its eggs on the tree. This fig tree will help the wasp to lay eggs. Wasp will help the fig tree to pollinate. Simple. Like this, orchid and bees also same. Orchids, here it will help to lay eggs. Here they help the bees in pollinate. They help the bees in copulation. They will help in copulation. These bees will help the orchid in pollination. So here one is plant, one is animal. Don't get confused what these all will do. Plants means they'll get benefit by pollination, both same. Here fig tree will help the animals wasp to lay its eggs, that's all. Orchid, it will help the bees to help in copulation. Like how they will help in copulation? This orchid will have a flower. So here one flower, one female flower, here this is a flower. One petal of the flower will resemble the female bee. So this male bees, which will help in pollination, they will come and copulate with the female bee. Pseudo copulation means false copulation will take place with the female bee, and they will aid in pollination. Simple. So mutualism, only 4 examples that you should remember. That is nothing but lichens, fungi and algae, mycorrhiza, fungi and higher plants. Next, fig tree wasp, orchid bees, pollination. Here these help to lay eggs and these help in copulation. Simple and easy to be remembered regarding this. So this is about the mutualism. Next we will go to amensalism. Amensalism means what? Here one organism is harmed, another one is not affected. The famous example is penicillin will produce a chemical that is called as penicillium. It will give rise to a special chemical that is called as, which help the bacteria to die. So here, which is it will secrete a chemical and which give the bacteria, they will secrete on the bacteria. So this bacteria will die. So here bacteria are harmed, penicillium it is not affected at all. Simple, it will release a chemical, penicillium and bacteria. There is a close association between penicillium and bacteria. So what is happening here? Bacteria, it will die, it is harmed. Penicillium, no effect because it is producing a chemical. This is the famous example that is given under commensalism, as well as their cattle on grass. If cattle, suppose goats, are walking on the grass, what is happening? Grass is smashed out. So grass is affected here and cattle is not affected. They are simply walking on the grass, no effect for them. But here the grass is abandoned or it is died because of amensalism practice. So these are the 2 common examples which are given under amensalism. Commensalism means one is benefited, one is harmed, one is not affected. Amensalism means one is harmed, other one is not affected. Penicillium bacteria, cattle walking on the grass. Cattle not eating the grass. Here cattle walking on the grass is an example. So penicillium will secrete a chemical on the bacteria. Bacteria will die, penicillin will survive. Cattle on the grass. Grass is dead, cattle will survive. This is about the amensalism. The last concept here which we come is predation. I told you parasitism and predation. One organism is benefited, another one is harmed, I told you. Predators means what? Which survive on the prey to survive. Here I have told you parasite means I gave names for that. Parasite, host. Here also which is benefited is predator, which is harmed is prey. For any other interactions, names were not given, like predator, prey, like that. Only for parasitism it was given. One is benefited is parasite, harmed is host. Here also one which is benefited is predator and which is harmed is prey. So here the predator is benefited, prey is harmed. Predator will go and it will eat the prey basically. Predators means larger organisms. Preys are smaller organisms. So what are the common examples which are given? The common example is cactus plants. Means when cactus, a plant which will grow in the deserts, when it was introduced into the environment in 1980s in America, when it was introduced, it spread rapidly and it ate numerous smaller plants. Numerous small plants were there, so it ate numerous plants. So cactus is benefited. Another smaller organisms called as smaller plants, they died because of cactus was introduced. That was one common example of predator as well as prey. Next, Pisaster as well as invertebrates. Pisaster means a famous starfish. When it was introduced into one community, it ate numerous invertebrates which are present in that community. So this is a predator. These all smaller organisms which died are preys basically. By name only you can understand. Predators means which will suck the prey and it will survive, and predators are benefited and preys died. So cactus on the cactus plants, on numerous other plants. Pisaster, a starfish, when it was introduced into a community, numerous invertebrates died. Smaller fishes, they died due to this big fish which was introduced. So this is a common example of predation. Important thing you should remember. And another thing about predation is nothing but, if predators are more, if preys, they eat so many preys, after few days this prey will not be available for these predators to eat. So what will happen again? These predators also will die due to lack of food. So these preys have adopted a special mechanism which is called as preys. Have adopted a special mechanism to defend against the predators. They have developed a special mechanism. What is the special mechanism? Like suppose frogs, they develop the camouflage. Means when they are moving from one place to another, they are changing their color. Frogs, so they are not able to be identified by the predator. And another example is monarch butterfly. Monarch butterfly also same. It is highly distasteful to its predator. When some predator will eat this monarch butterfly, it will taste very bad. So they have developed a special chemical in them to survive like that. Then another example is Calotropis, a famous plant called as Calotropis. It also secreted a chemical called as cardioglycosides. When any goat or some animals, when they are coming and eating these plants, they will die due to the cardioglycosides which are released by a plant which is called as Calotropis. So this goats and all will not go to this plant. So these preys are able to survive by developing a special mechanism. Another plants also called as cactus plants. They are also able to survive because herbivores, means small goats, cattle, cows, these all are not going to this cactus plants. Cactus plants means you all know, which are developed in deserts. So when they are developed in the deserts, what is happening? They develop thorns on them. So whenever an animal will come, it will be very sharp for them. Thorns will be very sharp, right? We humans, when we touch also, we will get blood, and also no animal will go and survive on this cactus plants. Like this, numerous defense mechanisms are adapted by the predators to protect, by the prey to protect among the predators, to protect themselves from the predators. They have developed a special mechanism. So these are the common interactions which we have discussed among different organisms. All we have discussed last, amensalism is only 2 example, penicillin on bacteria, and another example which was given is first example which we have given is penicillium and cattle moving on the grass. Done, amensalism. One is benefited, other one is negative, like harmed, another one is not affected. Predation is one is benefited, other one is harmed. Predation common examples are Pisaster eating so many other invertebrates, and cactus plants, when it was introduced, it destroyed so many other plants. Then preys have developed a special mechanism to protect themselves from predators. That is, cactus plants developed thorns. Frogs camouflage by changing color. Monarch butterfly distasteful to its predator by secreting a special chemical. Calotropis, when it is growing on the fields, no goat will come and eat these plants because it will secrete a special chemical called as cardiac glycoside. So these are the common examples which were given under interactions. In the next session, we will start with the fresh chapter in ecology that is called as ecosystems. So I want you all to deal with these interactions twice or thrice, read the examples and remember. It will be very helpful for you in NEET. Okay.